No one needed to die that night. It's incomprehensible what happened to the small, tight-knit town of Beason on a still September evening in 2009, a massacre so violent it would forever haunt the residents and be infamously labeled the Beason Bloodbath. For Rick Gee and his family of 6, a tranquil evening took a dark turn when a man with sinister motives obliterated their lives. By morning, only devastation remained. Seasoned investigators later remarked that it wasn't just the brutality of the crime, but its cruel intimacy that shook them to their core. Beason, a forgotten dot in central Illinois, roughly 200 miles from Chicago, was the last place where such evil was expected to strike. Home to barely 200 people, the sleepy hamlet was surrounded by farmland and rolling hills, offering its residents a simpler, quieter way of life. Among them were the Gee and Constant families, whose lives intersected in both joy and tragedy in the years leading up to that dark September night. Rick Gee was a man defined by fortitude and grit. Early on, he toiled in his stepfather's construction business in neighboring Lincoln, Illinois, a town offering everything Beason lacked, from schools and grocery stores to a modest airport. His determination bore fruit when he acquired his own property and broke out on his own, founding GC Construction. Rick's home, a modest ranch atop a wide plot of farmland, symbolized his dedication, a safe space for his family that even included room for farm animals. When Ruth Constant moved in as a tenant, sparks soon ignited between them. Ruth's warm personality paired effortlessly with Rick's steadfastness, and their love story flourished. They married in 1997 and built a bustling household. Over time, their family grew with the births of Austin and Jessica, bringing new joy and challenges. But life wasn't without its heartbreak. Baby Jessica was born with severe neurological conditions, requiring specialized care the family couldn't afford in Beason. It broke their hearts to place her in temporary care 50 miles away in Peoria, further devastating them when she passed before the grisly events of 2009. Life moved forward, albeit uneasily, with the couple striving for normalcy. Challenges compounded as Ruth's son Dylan, struggling with ADHD, required tireless attention and therapy. Yet, through good times and bad, the Gee family held together, a picture of Midwestern resilience. By September 2009, Rick and Ruth's eldest children were building new lives of their own. Nicole Gee, Rick's 18-year-old daughter, had recently married 21-year-old Christopher Harris, and the couple lived just minutes away. The Gees were doting grandparents to Nicole's 2 children, often babysitting. On an ordinary late September day, even cannonballing tragedy would have seemed out of place in their simple lives. But normalcy shattered with a child's scream. It started innocuously, with a 10-year-old neighborhood boy excitedly bicycling over to show off his new ride. Yet, approaching the Gee's porch, his delight turned to terror at the sight of blood smeared on the door and steps. Frozen in panic, he raced to Nicole's nearby house to raise the alarm. What unfolded next defied comprehension. Nicole's family, Rick's stepfather and grandson, immediately rushed to investigate. A bloodied knife at the porch's base hinted at the horror within. When they turned on the hallway lights, Rick's lifeless, bludgeoned body confirmed their worst fears. Frozen in terror, Rick's grandson fled and called 911. Officers arrived, unprepared for the unspeakable carnage within the home. Rick lay face down in a vast pool of blood, his head obliterated. Dylan, positioned outside the main bedroom, suffered a similar fate. The walls bore evidence of struggle, violence echoing even in the absence of the killer. Room by room, investigators uncovered tragedy in every corner. Ruth's body in her nightgown, young Austin in the bathroom, and finally Justina, whose brutal injuries rendered her unrecognizable. Each scene struck a new blow to the officers' resolve as sheer rage and malice emanated from the crime. As officers prepared to exit the crime scene, the unimaginable happened, a faint sign of life. Tabitha, the 3-year-old granddaughter, fought valiantly amidst the chaos. Gravely injured but alive, her discovery jolted investigators into action. An ambulance sped her to intensive care while Chris Harris, Rick's son-in-law, closely followed. Yet Chris's reaction raised alarm. Instead of relief at the child's survival, nervousness simmered behind his hurried movements. Investigators began to wonder if Chris knew more than he let on. Detectives worked tirelessly to reconstruct the events. Evidence of a foreign shoe print outside the home fought for significance alongside minute clues. A fresh bloody handprint, faint tire tracks, and vague neighbor reports of a suspicious truck circling the area. Each breadcrumb pointed toward a killer who knew the family well, deepening unease within the community. As forensic autopsies stripped back the reality of the crime, the chilling truth stood firm. This was rage-fueled, personal. Each blow to the Gee family targeted not only their bodies, but their dignity. Rick had endured 39 severe blows, Ruth 28, Dylan over 100, and Justina 15 forceful strikes to her head. Tabitha's eventual recovery became a rallying point. Though she couldn't yet speak or see from the swelling injuries, every small movement gave hope. Police kept a tight vigil around her hospital bed, knowing her survival might bring answers to the unconscionable crime. Beason tried to put shattered trust back together. With the suspect still at large, anxiety spread through every household. Precautions became second nature. Doors and windows were locked earlier. Children were monitored more closely, and the shadow of the killer loomed over each passerby. The massacre left behind not only physical carnage, but psychological scars for Rick's remaining family and the Beason community. The Gees represented a world now forever lost, a family defined by love, resilience, and tragedy. As police pieced together fragments of evidence, one thing remained certain. Beason had been robbed of its innocence, its familiarity twisted into something sinister. A week later, on September 28th, a funeral was held for the Gee family. Despite the grief consuming the town, the funeral reminded everyone of one thread of hope: Tabitha, the miracle survivor. The killer remained at large, their motives as shadowed as the night that forever stained Beason. This haunting tale of loss, human rage, and survival stands as both a warning and a reflection of buried darkness waiting to strike. In the quiet heart of Beason, Illinois, the unimaginable unfolded, a brutal crime that left a family shattered and a small community shaken. As investigators sifted through the chaos, a seemingly ordinary pair of K-Swiss sneakers and a chance encounter in a hospital elevator sparked a chain of events that unraveled a dark and multifaceted crime. Christopher Harris, at first a grieving family member, became the prime suspect when his shoe tread appeared eerily similar to the one left at the crime scene. But the trail was far from straightforward. Discrepancies in shoe size and persuasive alibis from his brother, Jason Harris, and others initially cast doubt on his involvement. However, a deeper dive into the evidence revealed shocking revelations that rocked everyone connected to the case. Nicole Gee, Christopher's partner, vehemently denied his role in the murders, passionately defending him on MySpace in a tearful post. A portrait of familial loyalty emerged as Chris's stepmother and father echoed Nicole's sentiments, swearing by his innocence while highlighting Chris's fear for his family's safety as the real killers remained at large. Yet an ever-growing body of evidence told a chillingly different story. Detectives seized Chris's truck, uncovering unverified and fabricated alibis from those closest to him. It was Lori Cole, a security guard, who provided a pivotal revelation. She recounted a late-night visit by Chris and Jason, an encounter suspicious enough to shift the investigation's trajectory. As investigators pieced together these testimonies and physical evidence, every thread led them closer to Chris. A palm print at the scene, corroborated by DNA evidence from a discarded tire iron and shoes, became key in dismantling Chris's protestations of innocence. Meanwhile, other witnesses, including Lori and Christy Moore, revealed unsettling details about Chris's actions and behavior on the night of the crime. The careful work of forensic experts began to connect Chris to the gruesome attack inside the Gee home. Pressure mounted as Christopher's younger brother, Jason Harris, faced charges of obstruction of justice. His initial silence soon cracked under the weight of first-degree murder charges. What followed was a chilling account of that fateful night. Jason alleged the brothers, intoxicated by alcohol and drugs, deviated into spiraling chaos. With conflicting motives, Chris purportedly led the pair to the Gee residence with dark intentions tied to Justina Gee, Rick and Ruth Gee's 16-year-old daughter. Jason painted himself as a reluctant participant, staying in their truck while Chris carried out the horrifying assault inside. Jason's testimony, marred by multiple inconsistencies, sealed Chris's fate. Despite his claims of innocence, Chris was undone by the precise forensic evidence and the vivid details that Jason described. On May 31, 2013, Christopher Harris was convicted of the mass killing, earning 5 life sentences for his heinous crimes. Jason, in exchange for cooperation, received a reduced sentence of 10 years, a controversial outcome that sparked fierce public debate. The case took an even darker turn when a former cellmate of Chris came forward, offering a brutal account that painted Chris not only as remorseless, but calculating. According to the cellmate, Chris recounted his rage-fueled attack on the Gee family, targeting Rick Gee first, before turning on the rest of the family, including Ruth and their children. This confession painted a picture of unchecked rage and twisted motives that only deepened the horror surrounding the case. Adding to the unresolved tragedy, an overlooked report of attempted sexual assault involving Justina Gee surfaced, a complaint dropped just a week prior to the murders. Allegations that Chris had fixated on Justina added a darker, predatory context to the crime, shifting the perceived motivation behind the attacks and implicating Chris's distorted sense of entitlement as a catalyst. The Harris brothers' actions left an indelible scar on the Gee family and the community. Tabitha Gee, the youngest survivor, bore the physical and emotional weight of the tragedy, yet emerged as a symbol of resilience. Shielded by state troopers during her recovery, Tabitha experienced moments of compassion amidst heartbreak, including celebrations that offered her fleeting moments of joy. For Dylan Gee, his last moments were marked by bravery. Fighting to protect his siblings and family, Dylan's actions underscored his heroism, despite facing overwhelming odds. However, controversy erupted after the television show. When Murder Comes to Town aired, controversially portraying Dylan as a troubled individual instead of the courageous protector he was. Law enforcement, along with members of the Beason community, strongly refuted the show's narrative, defending Dylan's legacy. With Jason Harris receiving a lighter sentence for his cooperation, many questioned whether true justice was served. Critics argued that Jason, though not a direct perpetrator, bore culpability by failing to intervene, particularly when Dylan repeatedly sought his help. Nicole Gee, once a supporter of Chris, ultimately renounced him in the face of overwhelming evidence. Her heartbreak was echoed by Tabitha's emotional statement during the sentencing hearing, a testimony that exposed the profound trauma inflicted by Chris's actions. The story of the Gee family is more than a tale of one tragic night. It reflects both the darkest corners of human behavior and the extraordinary strength of those left behind. A playground dedicated to Austin, Dylan, and Justina Gee now stands as a tribute to their memory, offering a place of joy where sorrow and loss had once been overwhelming. As we conclude this haunting case, we leave you with a question. Was justice truly served, or does the leniency granted to Jason Harris leave room for debate? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth crime stories. Your voice helps us uncover more cases like this and honor the legacies of those lost. Thank you for watching.